Sup. This Polo G paper rip type tutorial, I got it the exact same, so it's going to take a while and there's going to be a lot of confusing steps, so just bear with me. You're going to need Photoshop like the other tutorial, but if you have Premiere Pro, then you probably have Photoshop and all that. Follow my Instagram like usual, and thanks for watching. Later. So after doing it a bunch and trying to get to as close or the exact same as the final product in Polo G, it's going to be a lot of layers and it might get confusing at times, so I might go slow just so you guys can keep up, but just think of that. It's not going to be a quick and easy tutorial. So the first thing you want to do is you want to go to Google Chrome and look up this. You're going to look up paper texture, paper rip, right? And then old picture texture, and then go to Giphy.com. Go back to the old picture texture, save it to wherever you need to save it, and do that. And then Giphy.com, we'll talk about that later, but we'll just go on to the tutorial. So I have my clip on my timeline already, and now you need to pick a spot where you want the effect to be. So let's say I want the effect to be right here. I'm going to split the clip. I have a shortcut, but you can use the eraser tool right here. And then now, once you split the clip, go right here to where this little picture thing is. Click that. Make sure import into project is. You can save it to wherever you want, and just click OK. Now drag that over your timeline, over your clip, and put it right where you split the clip. So now if you look at it, it'll be a picture. So now what we need to do is we need to open this in Photoshop. So right click this and edit in Adobe Photoshop. It should open up Photoshop right here, and that'll be fine. So the first thing we need to do is we need to make a outline of him. So go to your left right here, and where this quick selection tool is, just select that and then just outline him really fast. And if you outline more than you need to, just hold Alt and it'll take away what you need. Okay, and then now the easiest way to do this without messing it up, I like to just press Ctrl C, Ctrl V, copy and paste, and then just mute the bottom layer. So now we'll have this. So what we need to do now is we need to go back to Google Chrome and look up our paper texture. Now pick any paper texture you want. So let's say I'm gonna pick this one. I'm just gonna right click, copy image, go back to Photoshop, and then press Control V again, or Command V if you're on Mac. Control V, and then it should paste it in there. Now press Control T, hold Shift, and then just shift this up until it covers your subject. Press Enter, and then now you're fine. Now right here on the bottom right where it says layer 2, that's my paper image texture. Right click that and create clipping mask. Now he's a paper person. Now I don't want him to look like a paper person, I want him to just have the paper texture. Well, make sure your layer 2 is still selected, normal, click that, and then you're going to want to stay in between these right here, this darken multiply, and obviously right now multiply is working the best for me, so I'm going to click that. So now we have a paper texture cut out of him. So we need to save this one first. So file, save, or save as, and then save it to wherever you need to save it. Hold on, I'm getting lost. Save it to where you need to save it. Obviously I did this before, so I'm gonna save it as Polo G picture 1, right? Save. Okay, but we're not done in Photoshop. We need to go back into Google Chrome and look up paper rip. Now pick any paper rip you want to use, but I'm gonna choose the easiest one, which is probably this one. And I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna right click, copy image, go back to Photoshop, and press Control V. Now it's gonna paste the paper rip in. But now we have all this black in our thing. You could probably multi it, but just the easiest way is just to have your quick selection tool again and then just cut the black out. I guess I could also just press lighten, right? Hold on, let me try this, guys. If it doesn't work, then skip like 5 seconds. No. Okay, anyways, so yeah, you want to have your quick selection tool here and then just highlight the black and keep on deleting it. Now press Ctrl T again and I'm gonna just scale down this black because I know there's more. And quick selection tool again, just delete that, and then there's some excess here that I see. I'm just gonna select that and delete it. Okay, making it super clean. There we go. So now we have a paper rip, but it's over our subject and we need it under. So just go to your layers here and just drag it underneath your subject. So I'm gonna press Ctrl T again, and then instead of going to this corner right here, I can go anywhere outside and it'll rotate it where it should. Hold on 1 second. Okay, I'll press Ctrl T and then rotate it like that. Well, what I did right there is I just highlighted the white and then press Ctrl C, Ctrl V, which I probably should have done in the beginning. Anyway, so now you have paper rip, and now you just want to move the paper rip around his body. And to make it work, I just press Ctrl C, Ctrl V, and then press Ctrl T, and then I just move it around. Now this is partly aesthetic of how you want to do it, but I'm just gonna do it really quick for time's sake. Here, Ctrl V, Ctrl T, move that around like that, and then that is good enough for me right now. Actually, I'm gonna do one more just so. There you go. And that's good enough for me right now. Obviously, take your time, blase blase. So now we need to save this version. So File, Save As. It should go back to the same one and go Polyg Picture 2. Enter. Okay. So now we can go back into Premiere Pro and then open up the project panel and then just open up the 2 Photoshop PSDs you just made, which are these 2. Open them up and then merge all layers. That's fine. And then we'll have this Polyg and this Polyg. Okay, so now what we need to do is we can delete this bottom layer. So it's just a picture, right? We can move this down. Now we need to put this Polyg picture above the picture we just took, right? So if this is making sense, we have a paper rip with paper texture above our regular video track, right, with the regular picture. So if we mute this, it's just a regular picture. Unmute that, it's paper with a paper rip. Now we need Polyg, just the texture above the Polyg texture with the paper rip. So, and I'll explain why we did this later on, but this is just getting close to it. So if we mute the paper rip texture, it's just Polyg with the texture, no paper rip. And if you mute the one with texture, it's just nothing. And then paper rip, and then paper rip texture. Alright, hope you guys are getting this. Alright, so for almost the last step, you need to go back to Google Chrome, go to Giphy.com, and then you can use any GIF you want, but the go-to is just look up Anime Guns. And then this is the exact same one they used. So I'm going to give you a quick tip on how to download Giphy. Go to Media, copy the MP4, and then just make a new tab and then paste that in. And then just right click the video and click Save Video As, and then save it to wherever you need to save it, and I'm just going to save it as Giphy. Go back to Premiere Pro, open it up, and then open up your new Giphy. Now drag that in between where we need to drag it on. Okay. So now we have this. So now we have this with Anime Guns. But that's not exactly how we wanted it in the first place. So we need to drag it underneath our picture, our original picture, and we'll have this, right? Okay, so now we get to start animating it. So I was mistaken. We need to actually get the paper rip texture and put it underneath our regular picture texture, like that. Okay, so now we have this, and then our texture just like that. So now we need to animate the masking and the cropping of the effect. So I'm working with the 24 frame timeline here. So I like to just go a quarter of a frame, which would be 4 frames, if you're working a 60 FPS timeline, that'll be 15 frames instead of 4 frames. So I'm going to just mask out the first. Here, let me mute everything so we know we're just working with this. So now make sure your original picture is selected, effect controls, opacity, pen tool. Now I'm just going to make a jagged edge like this. There we go. And then this will come up. Now we just need to click inverted and we'll have that. Now I'm going to go to the right 4 frames, which is 1/4 of a second for me. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'm going to select the second. I'm going to split the clip. And now I'm going to select the second picture. Go to mask. And then I'm just going to animate the mask to where it's taking up more of the screen. And don't worry, this will all come together after everything. And then now obviously I need to go to the right 4 frames, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I don't have anything there, so I'm just gonna need to extend this out, the picture, right? And I also need to extend the Giphy out. So we have this, and then now I need to keep extending the picture out, split the clip right there, select the next picture, click on mask, and then now I can't really see the mask anymore, so I'm gonna click this little fit, go to about 25, and then now I can just keep changing the mask. And I'm gonna do this about 4 times to about right here. So now I need to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I can just delete the final since we're gonna do full GIF. So now if you look at it, we'll have this. So now what we can do is we can unmute the top layer picture like that, and then we'll have, let me extend this out, we should have this, right, which is more of what we're looking for, but we still need the paper rip right behind him. So we need to unmute the paper rip, and then now we'll have the paper rip, but they only come on from when the mask comes on. So let's say he goes paper right now with no paper rip behind him, but as the mask moves on, there's paper rips behind him, which is more of what the video showed. Okay, now I don't like this little white, so I'm just going to select my GIF, scale it up a little bit. So now to tie the whole thing together, the paper texture I told you to download in the beginning and import it into your project panel, just drag that on top of everything, effect controls, scale it up, and then change that from this to multiply. So now I have this to old picture, and then I'm gonna change that opacity to 50 so it doesn't look disgusting, maybe 30. So we have old picture, and then with picture paper texture, and then every time it cuts out, he has paper rips around him with a GIF in the background. Now you can go one step further, and what I like to do is I like to use Universe VHS, and then just drag that onto the Giphy, and then it has more of this effect. And that's how you do the whole effect in the Polo G. Thanks for watching. It was long. I hope you guys could understand everything. It was kind of confusing, but thanks for sticking around to the end. That's pretty much it for this. Peace out later.